Right, Shalom, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I want to just respond to this article that came out recently in the Mail Online. It says all humans are descended from just two people, and the catastrophic event almost wiped out all species 100,000 years ago, scientists claim. All right. It says all modern humans descended from a solitary pair who lived 100,000 to 200,000 years ago, scientists say. All right. Let's get. So scientists surveyed the genetic barcode of 5 million animals, including humans, from 100,000 different species, and deduced that we sprang from a single pair of adults after a catastrophic event almost wiped out the human race. These barcodes, or snippets of DNA that reside outside the nuclei of living cells, suggest that it's not just people who came from a single pair of beings, but 9 out of every 10 animal species. Storko Thaler, the scientist who headed the study, concluded that 90% of all animals species alive today came from parents that all began giving birth at roughly the same time, less than 250,000 years ago, to throwing into doubt the patterns of human evolution. And again, this is more BS. This is more confusions. It says the conclusions throw up considerable mystery as to why the need for human life to start again was needed such a relatively short time ago, especially since the last known extinction we know of was during the time of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. First of all, there was no time of the dinosaurs, all right, and there's no such thing as 65 million years ago. You got to understand that through the Royal Society, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, and in particular, these witches and warlocks who form these secret societies, through the Royal Society and other means, they took control of the so-called scientific community. So the scientific community, yes, do they research and come up with truths and science which is empirical and provable? Yes, they do. Right? But they also have an agenda. The witches and warlocks, right, and members of these different secret societies that work within the scientific community, they also have an agenda, a satanic, a Babylonian agenda, and they use the so-called scientific community to push that agenda. So a lot of times when you see stuff like this isn't coming from a position of neutrality or position of truth with evidence-based information. This is them lying, right? And basically feigning lies as truth to get the people to accept their agenda. What has their agenda been? To destroy the faith of the people in the Most High through destroying their faith in the Bible, right? Now, the Bible, if you understand the chronology of the Bible deals with thousands of years. The existence of man on this earth is in a period of thousands of years, right? And actual human history and archaeology proves this. That's what's known in archaeology as recorded history. Recorded history is only in the thousands of years. What Esau did, right, was invent the lie of hundreds of thousands of years and millions of years. All right, and use that timeline and that false chronology to support the false philosophy of evolution, which goes back to ancient Babylon. All right. So that's why you see here in this article, these scientists are talking about 100,000 years ago, and there was some cataclysm and blah blah, DNA this and DNA that. They really have no proof of all this. This is just them pushing their agenda. All right, bringing confusion to the people. Now the truth of the matter is is that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai created the heavens and the earth and all that is in the earth, right? And he did it over the process of 7,000 years. All right. Now, all people on the earth today are descended from a particular line of people going back to Adam. All right. And we're going to get that. All right. Now, it's the second Ezra 6. And we're going to start from yeah, we can hit it straight from the top. Verse 38. Now, bearing in mind, a day unto the Lord, according to the book of Peter, is 1,000 years. All right. It says, and I said, O Lord, thou spakest from the beginning of creation, even the first day. All right. Esau and his pseudo-scientific agenda that he pushes through the scientific community wants to destroy the notion of creation. All right, he wants to destroy the knowledge of creation, that everything around us was created by a creator, and therefore that creator has communicated with us through what? Through his word, through the holy prophets. Esau doesn't want that to be the staple of the earth, as it was at one time. And I said, O Lord, thou spakest from the beginning of creation, even the first day, and saidest thus, let heaven and earth be made, and thy word was made a perfect work. So the Most High made this material world that we dwell in. Everything, all the rules and laws, everything, the flesh, everything of this material world was created by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, beginning with the Heavenly Father, through his Son Yahushai, through the word. And then was the spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed. Right? At that point, men were not created yet. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures, that thy work might appear. So the Lord created light. All right? So light itself is a creation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right? Upon the second day, thou madest the spirit of the firmament, and commandest it to part asunder, and to make a division betwixt the waters, and that the one part might go up, and the other remaineth beneath. So there's a division between that which is outside of this earth realm, right, and that is within. All right, the sky. Upon the third day, thou didst command that the water should be gathered in the seventh part of the earth. 6 parts hast thou dried up, and kept them, to the intent that of these some being planted of God and tilled might serve thee. All right. So at that point, there was only one landmass on the earth, and the rest was waters. All right. For as soon as thy word went forth, the work was made. For immediately there was great and innumerable fruit, and many and diverse pleasures for the taste, and the flowers of unchangeable color, and odors of wonderful smell, and this was done the third day. All right. Upon the fourth day, thou didst command the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and stars should be in order. All right. That's why the stars move according to like clockwork. The stars and the constellations, these things operate in clockwork. They operate on their order. They don't operate in the way of chaos. See, this This realm really doesn't operate under the weight of chaos. It operates in order. That's why you have a day and one day to another. That's an order. All right. That's why you can plot the movement of the stars, because they move in an order according to the commandment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. It says, and gave them charge to do service unto man that was to be made. All right. Because this whole universe revolves around men. All right. Everything was put here to as a service to us. And we were made to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and to give him glory. All right. The earth was put here for us to use, to live on. If the Lord never had intended to create man, the universe wouldn't exist. Everything exists for the sake of man. For our benefit, like the plants, all things. Right? But it says, upon the 5th day thou didst said unto the 7th part where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes, and so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of God, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Right? So the Lord made the animals, man, abundantly. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, which represents a man, and the other Leviathan, and did separate one from the other. For the 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part, wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when. And that's the great sea creatures. Upon the 6th day thou gavest commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these Adam, which was Adam, was a particular man, but Adam also was the name of a particular nation of people. Also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all. Now we all come from the man Adam, because all other lineages were destroyed in the flood, the great cataclysm that the scriptures speak of. And the flood wasn't hundreds of thousands of years ago. It was thousands of years ago. All right? And is actually a part of recorded history. It's not prehistory, it's recorded history. And ultimately prehistory is manufactured by the so-called white man. Like I said, he has an agenda. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. So yes, all people on earth today, their lineage goes back ultimately to a pair of individuals, which was Adam and Eve. And through Adam and Eve on down to Noah and his 3 sons, who were the only survivors of the flood. All right. And the same way that Noah gathered together certain animals. All right. Unclean animals he gathered together in their pairs, and clean animals he gathered together in their 7s of pairs. So all the animals that is on land ultimately go back to a small base of animals which came off Noah's Ark, same with the people. And this is true recorded history, which is recorded in the scriptures. All right. But Esau wants to come with his BS and confusion. And he uses his power and authority to push this BS and this confusion. Right? That's why this man has to be put down and taken out the way, because as long as he's in power and authority, he's going to abuse that power and authority, not to tell the truth, but rather to spread corruption and lies. And that's what he does. He uses the scientific community, because like I said, certain things they discover is true. It is proper research, but they also have an agenda, and that's when they start pushing madness. And basically, they've corrupted something which started off as genuine, because the original scientific community was set up and founded by Jake in the Dark Ages, and they were observers of the creation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. That's what the scientists were in the Dark Ages. They were observers of the creation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and they gave glory unto the Most High. Esau hijacked science, and now they're the peddlers of satanic agenda under the guise of calling it science. Case in point, evolution. All right. Now, in the same Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, man, that's why at the end of the day, see, right now, the way of corruption is popular. It is widespread. It is overwhelming in the earth, because the so-called white man is in rulership, and he has the power and authority. He controls the media and so forth to push whatever madness he wants to push. But see, in due time, he's going to be taken out of the way, and the way of truth, light, is going to consume this earth. And the truth of the scriptures is what's going to be overwhelming and all-consuming in the earth. And we're going to get that. As 2 Ezra 6:25, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitant shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be put out. Now, how is evil going to be put out? Well, first and foremost, the Israelites are going to be changed and made completely righteous, right, in this realm. And that's through the blessing of the New Testament. The Israelites are going to be made completely pure and righteous through Yahweh Shai. Secondly, the man of sin, which is the so-called white man, is going to be removed from authority. All right. Deceit shall be quenched. Yeah, the lies and deceit are going to be quenched, because the truth is going to be made manifest through the appearing of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. All right. And again, the man of sin, the devil himself, is going to be removed from the seat of power that he sitteth on. All right. As for faith, it shall flourish, because under Esau's rulership, Esau, going back to the Renaissance era, made it his mission statement to destroy the faith that the people had in the Bible. That's why the faith in the scriptures is at an all-time low. It didn't get to the point that we're at right now by accident. This was a actual agenda that Esau set up. The so-called Illuminati, the witches and warlocks, they actually set up to do, using characters like Charles Lyell and George Cuvier and Charles Darwin, and the list goes on. Einstein and the rest of these miscreants, right? And they use the education system and the scientific community and media to push their satanic doctrine to destroy the faith of the people in the Bible, to get the people to believe that the Bible is just a book of fairy tales and blah 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 blah. That was an agenda, and they've accomplished a great work in doing that. But guess what? The Lord is going to undo all those things in judgment. All right. So it says, faith, as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, right, with the truth is of these scriptures, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared, right? And that's the point. So the time's going to come where you ain't going to see madness like this being force-fed and pushed out there to the masses, to the children, in the TV, on the TV and all over. Millions of years and all this crap. All right, like I said, prehistory doesn't exist. And, well, not the prehistory. The only prehistory that you can say exists is the time period which is recorded in the scriptures where the Lord was preparing the earth for man to inhabit. That's the only, and that period is in the scriptures is a 7,000 year period. There was nothing before that except the Most High in his own glory. This this idea of prehistory, all right, which is billions of years, is garbage. All right. The only thing that we know is recorded history. All right. So human prehistory is the period between the use of the first stone tools, which is BS. There was no Stone Age. All right. When you go into the Bible, all right, even in the times of Cain, they had the knowledge of metallurgy. That's why to this day they dig up metal tools where they find so-called dinosaurs. Because all that bullshit about Stone Age and all that is bullshit. Different peoples had different levels of technology at different times. Just like now on Earth, you go somewhere, people have got mobile phones. You can go somewhere else in the Earth where people are on a low level. It's always been like that. There's always been higher cultures and lower cultures. So there was no Stone Age and no Iron Age and no Bronze Age. That's all bullshit. Because they dig up aluminium artifacts, which by the way, aluminium can only be made through electrolysis, which shows you that in the ancient times, they had the knowledge of electricity. But you see, when this stuff comes out, like I said, because Esau has an agenda, he don't push it out there for the masses so that the people can understand that, all this talk that he's coming with is BS. He hides that information. He only brings out selectively. All right? He don't want to show the people how they find drill holes in ancient rocks. But how the hell was they drilling into rocks, into granite? To drill into granite today, you need high-powered machines with diamond tips. So how the hell were the ancient peoples drilling into rocks? Because the ancient peoples had knowledge, man. All right? Like I said, when you go into the book of Genesis, they had metallurgy. Sorry, brass. Right? Way back, Genesis the 4th chapter, 22nd verse, it says, and Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. So they had metallurgy back then. So there was no fucking Stone Age. It's all bullshit. Because this didn't happen millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago. So there was no damn Stone Age. That's all lies. Right? Like I said, this whole timeline is built upon the basis of Charles Lyell and the principles of geology, which was all BS. All right? Human prehistory is the period between the use of the first stone tools 3.3 million years ago by hominins and the invention of writing systems. All right? There's no such thing as prehistory in this 3.3 million years that they're talking about. What you have is recorded history, which it shows the Bible. Look, here you got time periods, the Stone Age, and they put the Stone Age as 3.4 million years. But how the fuck years ago, between 8,7 and ended between 8,700 BC and 2000 BC? And then they say it went from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age. Well, there was no fucking Stone Age, man. Adam and them, the Lord gave them the knowledge of many things, man. These people were living hundreds and hundreds of years, man. They weren't no idiots, man. But Stone Age. No, man. No. They had metallurgy from the beginning, the principal use of the life of man. They had iron. They knew how to deal with certain things from the beginning, because there was no such thing as evolution. All right? And it's right here. Way back in Genesis, from the very beginning, they were dealing with brass and iron. Right? Stone Age bullshit. Anyway, that's the point on that. All right, Esau, he gonna continue to push this madness, but hey, his time is coming to an end. The time of the devil, the time of ignorance and darkness is gonna come to an end, and we're about to enter into an age of enlightenment, the true age of progression and enlightenment, and it's gonna be spearheaded and led forth by the Son of the Most High, Yahweh Shai himself, and his brethren, the Israelites. Not the so-called white man. He's not the proponent of light. He's the proponent of dark. He's the progenitor of darkness, man. He's the leader of darkness, ignorance. That's what reigns in his realm. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.